Thanks for supporting us. I mean, I feel like a lot of people actually believe that we could take G2 to Game 5, we could beat them. We did get them to Game 5, fell short on the beating part, but again, I don't think they're... If they still feel like they're the high school bullies after this set, then maybe they're a bit delusional.
Vladimir will never get nerfed. You will get an 0-5 Yasuo in every one of your ranked games. NA will win worlds.
Hey man, got trouble sleeping? Try Brain Effect Sleep.
What are you doing in my home?
Hello everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, joined here by Bwipo. Thank you so much for doing this. Of course, after the finals against G2, another lost best of 5 against G2.
Wow, really?
No way to mince it, I'm sorry. What's going through your head right now?
Honestly, like, just the positives.
Okay.
Like,
So-
I don't think there's a point. Like, we're playing next week in the Gauntlet again. We want that second seed. We still want to prove we're the second best team. You know, I really don't want to lose to G2 like peak and then just say, whatever, we didn't win the final, so fuck this shit. You know, okay, maybe you want to cut that out, but
We're gonna beep it.
yeah, that's not how I want to approach next week. So for me, I was looking at the positives, looking at what we could have done better. Like just thinking, okay, thinking back to the game, what are my main learnings here? How do I want to approach games against teams like this? Because I feel like they're a team that heavily rely on all 5 of their players to be available for plays. I think that this is the main learning I learned in all of the best of 5s we played, is that if they don't have all 5 players available to make a play, they're often going to overcommit and take bad ones. So I feel like for me, making sure I'm one of the people that can stop Wunder, in my case of course, from participating in the game, it will lead into them taking bad fights through 4 versus 5 or 4 versus 4 or 3 versus 4 or whatnot, right? This is how it felt playing against them. So I think they're exploitable, and I think the nice thing about this best of 5 is that even though you had 10 of the best European players in the world, all of them got exploited at some point and all of them showed strength at some point, and I think this is what makes me happy. Like, I didn't feel like we were the ones getting exploited the whole time. G2 showed weakness, we exposed their weakness, and sure, they came out stronger at the end of the day, but it's refreshing for me to see a best of 5 where I feel like everybody ate shit at some point and everyone dealt it, you know? And I think that's just a really refreshing feeling. That's what a competition is. That's what I love playing for, right? And of course I wanted to be the one that won in the end, but we fell short. Still a good experience. Like, this is a best of 5 that I can call a good experience at the end of if I look at the end of my career, or even tomorrow, you know, I can just look back and I was like, it was a good experience. Of course, it's not as good as winning, but it was a good experience.
I'm very happy to hear that, of course. It reminded me so much watching the series to the interview we did like a week or 2 ago, when you previously played G2 in the normal split, and you mentioned how the 2 teams are just 2 boxers boxing each other until one of them backs down and you don't want to be the one. This was just another showcase of that. So is it fair to say that, you know, next time around you guys obviously want to come out on top and not be the one that backs down? And is it fair that the assessment still holds true today?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately we're fighters. We want to fight, and I think that I'm happy that we did show up to fight. You know, I think any team that's not willing to fight will just crumble, and I think that's the strength and one of the reasons why G2 and Fnatic are above the rest right now, is we're not necessarily that much better at like macro gameplay or individual skill even, you know, like sure our players are considered S tier, I would say. Again, maybe someone wants to put me in A+ tier on Aatrox and B tier without Aatrox. Maybe that's why they banned it every game. I pulled 10 Aatrox bans, just throwing it out there. Anyway, no, I'm joking, right? For me at least, yeah, I think that's like the main takeaway is that we're willing to fight, and that's why we're considered the best 2 teams. As soon as any of the other teams in the Gauntlet learn that it's time to fight, you know, like get in there and just accept it. You know, it might be a slugfest. Someone might get 3 kills, someone might 3-0, and your game might be really hard. But if you do it well, you're going to be the one with the 3 kills running around killing everyone. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's the meta right now, you know. You need to be willing to step up, rise up to the challenge. Don't just sit there and wait. And I feel like, again, teams like Schalke and Splice, Origin even, are teams that can definitely compete using a mentality like this. But the fact that they're just so hell-bent on playing perfect League of Legends when there's so many comeback mechanics in the game right now. Shutdown goal, the catch-up experience, you get one Baron, you're back in the game. You can even just win a fight and get a better dragon, you know, like maybe they have 2 oceans and you just, you know, ooh, all of a sudden you get an infernal, boom, you're back in, you know. You might as well just, instead of only playing with your head, just throw your body into the wind and see what happens. I feel like this is the best way of playing right now. It's the way I enjoy playing most, so I'm very satisfied with competitive gameplay right now, and I have to say I enjoyed the split.
That's so nice to hear. Of course, I mean, second place is still a very huge achievement. Especially, we don't know how Worlds is going to go yet, but if it goes to yours way, then it makes it even greater in hindsight, of course. Last year, you entered Worlds as the best team in Europe, definitively. This time around, you'll likely end up in the second seed. How has the attitude changed though, or is it still the same attitude as last year?
I think in general, I think the attitude changes completely because it's just it's a very different environment we're also playing in, right? We didn't win spring, we didn't win summer now, so in general, you're not on top of the world, right? Like literally, you're not on top of the world, right? You're not on top of the worlds. So in that sense, it's different. You're not going to create a boot camp either. I think we're going to Amsterdam. So it's just a different environment. It's going to be different everything. It's in Europe as well this time around. Last time MSI was in Europe. We just have to figure it. Like it's just for me. Last time we were going to Worlds, it was like a big change, you know. And I could just look it up, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna like that's my goal, right? I'm going to aim there, and I'm going to keep fighting for that. And for me, of course, the goal was always to be the best, right? And of course, you can say G2 Esports is the best, and if we just keep that goal straight, then we can win. But for basically this entire summer split, the goal was to just win. Like I'm not looking at any team. I'm not looking at anything. I'm not thinking about Worlds. I'm not thinking about summer finals. I'm not thinking about anything. Just win every game I can. Just try as hard as I can to get where I want to be, right? And don't even look at how, you know, like I wasn't even looking at how I want to get there. I was just pushing and fighting and pushing, and all of a sudden, you know, you stop, you look up, and you see a huge arena, and you're like, well, how did I get here? You know? And then you remind yourself, oh, because you win. So for me, just advancing to the next stage, which is Worlds, through not winning is very strange for me, because ultimately that's what always like what it was for me, you know. If I win, I'm allowed to compete at Worlds. I can go to Worlds if I'm the best, and I don't feel like, well, they kind of won, so we are by definition not the best. So for me, I wouldn't say the mentality has changed. It's just, again, I think I'll just look at every game individually, just win every game I can, and for the rest, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. One last thing that I want to praise after the semifinals, of course, not semifinals, but the previous match against G2. A lot of people expected you guys not to be able to bounce back, and that would just be the moment where, you know, G2 just definitively is the best team and Fnatic is broken and stuff. But that wasn't the case whatsoever at all. Okay, first game phenomenal, second game oof, third game great again. So it was a really nice back and forth. Honestly, probably one of the, if not the best finals I've ever watched in EU. What made you guys still hold on to your spirit after that difficult best of 5?
I don't think we lost it last week either. It's just I think we messed up in draft significantly, and against a team like G2 will definitely punish you for poor drafting. And I think in game 4, there were some difficulties in the drafting phase, but ultimately, I think going into game 4 and 5, we as a team, we said this is a good, like we were happy playing this draft. This is a draft that we are willing to play, and it was on us not to execute, and I think that's the biggest difference between the last week and this week, or the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, last week?
Last week, yeah.
Last week, I'm pretty sure. I think that was the biggest difference, is that last week, like, you know, we weren't, like, we look at the draft and we're like, oh, why did we do that? Whereas this week, we were just like, this is what we wanted.
So you're still satisfied overall with everything. The result isn't there, but the performance.
Well, of course, I'm satisfied with the intensity we brought. Right. I'm satisfied with the preparation. I'm satisfied with everyone that came to support us. Like again, I feel like everyone around me gave everything they had, and for me myself, it wasn't enough. You know, like I don't feel like I gave enough. I didn't answer to the call. You know, people were in the crowd, the coaching staff, players, my girlfriend, family. I felt like they were there, you know, they were there ready, with their arms open, ready to receive me winning, and I fell short.
Well, a career has to go through some downs at one point. Even Faker missed Worlds at one point, okay? So even the GOAT himself. But lastly, I think you still played remarkably well, the entire team did. Anything you want to say to the Fnatic fans out there?
Just thanks for supporting us. I mean, I feel like a lot of people actually believed that we could take G2 to Game 5, we could beat them. We did get them to Game 5, fell short on the beating part. But again, I don't think they're... If they still feel like they're the high school bullies after this set, then maybe they're a bit delusional.
I think it's a beautiful note to end the interview on. Thank you so much, Bwipo, for your time. And again, thank you so much for doing this in the first place. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. This was Darius from the Shotcaller here from Athens, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. We'd especially like to thank Krzysztof Bujnowicz, Erich Althaus, Lukas Legal, Lazy Raven, and Adam Novosviat for your continuous and very special support, and of course all the people whose names you see scrolling past you right now. We have a lot of amazing projects, and of course Worlds 2019 in Europe coming up, so thank you so much for supporting us and enabling us to do our work. Thank you.